Buenos dias, amigos. Our lesson today is about Chile. Chile is indeed one of the most beautiful countries in all of South America, and it is located on the southwest coast of the South American continent. Chile is 2,650 miles long, and its width varies from 30 to 225 miles. Chile has four main land regions: the Andes Mountains, which reach the full length, and then along the coast we have a coastal desert, then we have a central valley, and then we have this, what we call the southern region. The Andes Mountains reach from the top of Chile to the tip, and they cover more than 70% of Chile's land region. These high mountain peaks are covered with snow most of the year, and when it's summer here in the United States and Canada, it's winter time in Chile, and the people go skiing in those beautiful mountains. Wonderful slopes, fantastic snow, and lots of fun in winter and summer resorts in the Andes Mountains of Chile. Chile's second land region is the Atacama Desert, located in the northern part of Chile between the Pacific Ocean and the Andes Mountains. The Atacama Desert is one of the driest deserts in the world, and is the most barren desert that I have ever seen anywhere. No cactus, wildflowers, not even a blade of grass for miles and miles, because this land is so rich in minerals that plant life has difficulty growing here. The beauty of this desert is in the colors of the richness of the soil. Here we find Chuquicamata. Chuquicamata is a large open pit copper mine. The copper from this mine is taken to the coast and shipped to markets around the world. The name of that port is Antofagasta. Also in Antofagasta we find some fishing activities. Fishing by fishermen and also by the pelicans who live in the harbor. When our lesson is over, I'd like for you to find Antofagasta on one of your maps or globes. It's a delightful port on the Atacama Desert. This is the school up on the hill. Girls are playing jump rope. This is recess time. Ships come from all over the world to get Chile's copper. Another important town on the Atacama Desert is Arica. Arica is the northernmost port in Chile and is also located on the coast of the Atacama Desert. Arica is used for shipping minerals and ores to foreign countries also. Arica and the land surrounding Arica once belonged to Bolivia, but about 100 years ago, during the War of the Pacific, Bolivia lost not only this rich desert land with its minerals, but also Arica, which was their only seaport. Each year the Bolivians celebrate a day on which they claim that they are going to recapture Arica and the land that belongs to them. Chile's third land region is the Central Valley. The Central Valley is located in the central part of Chile between the Andes Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. It's a fertile farmland crossed by 30 rivers flowing from the Andes Mountains, which are used for irrigation. Most of Chile's population lives in the Central Valley, and the Central Valley also includes the central coastal region. Here we find Vina del Mar and Valparaiso, beautiful coastal towns. In the Central Valley, 70 miles from the coast, we find Santiago, which is Chile's capital and largest city, surrounded by beautiful Andes Mountains. Unfortunately, they block dirty air, which causes smog in downtown Santiago, so they have smog in South America too. Santiago has a population of over 3 million and is the commercial, industrial, and cultural center of Chile. It's an exciting city, tall buildings and freeways, beautiful parks, lots of things to do. Chile's second most important city is the main port of Valparaiso. Valparaiso is located on the Pacific coast 70 miles northwest of Santiago. Valparaiso is another important industrial center as well as a main port and a fishing harbor. It's a beautiful harbor. These are some of the large fishing boats. They catch langostinas, which are little lobster, shrimp-like animals from the sea. Chile's fourth land region is the southern region. The southern region is a land of mountains and of glaciers. And over thousands, millions of years, the glaciers have carved beautiful mountain peaks. Here we find glacial lakes and rivers and streams and beautiful areas for hiking, camping, traveling. Chile has national parks to help protect their areas that are as beautiful as this. This area is known as Torres de Paine. Also in the southern region, we find the Strait of Magellan. And Tierra del Fuego and Cape Horn. Chile's southernmost city is located on the Strait of Magellan, and it faces Tierra del Fuego. It's called Punta Arenas. It means sandy point, and it's a sheep rancher's town and a port. Chile has two very interesting islands. Tierra del Fuego, which is located at the southern tip of South America. Here we find sheep ranching and also oil deposits that are being developed. And Easter Island also belongs to Chile. Many people don't realize that because it's located 2,300 miles west of Santiago in the Pacific Ocean. But this island, with all of its marvelous huge statues, holds many archaeological mysteries about the various cultures that have lived here during the past ages. Chile has a marvelous coastline. It's a small country, but its coastline is 2,650 miles long. And if you like to collect shells or watch the seabirds, the pelicans and the gulls, or go skin diving or explore tide pools, you'll just love Chile's coastline. In the tide pools, there are starfish, sea urchins, sea anemones, crabs, mosses, and seaweeds, and all kinds of small shells. Chile has a population of more than 13 million people. And of that population, they're actually only 2% Indian. I was in Chile for over a month, and during that time I don't think I saw one really pure-blooded looking Indian while I was there. 18% is white. By white we mean Caucasian or of European background. Many of the original settlers came from Spain, Portugal, Germany. There are a lot of Swiss people there. And 80% mestizos. Mestizo, remember, is a mixture of Indian and white. So we have a good mixture in Chile, 80% mestizo. About 20% of the people in Chile live in the country or in rural areas, and all the others live in the cities. They work in factories, shops, stores. There are a lot of good schools in Chile. Most of the children go to school and 80% of the population is literate. They can read and write. This is a group of 6th grade students who were out on a field trip, kind of a science field trip. They were collecting frogs from the river and insects and having a wonderful time. And when they found out I was a teacher, they asked me to take their picture for you. Chile is rich in natural resources. There are large mineral deposits, fertile land for farming and for grazing animals, and forests, and good power sources. You know, there are many countries that have natural resources, but they don't have enough power to develop these resources. But Chile has a lot of rivers which can be used to produce electrical power, and that electrical power can help develop the resources. Mining, forestry, and other industries. Mining is Chile's most important industry. Chile is one of the world's largest exporters of copper, and most of Chile's copper comes from 3 large mines which were developed by U.S. companies. This is Chuquicamata, located on the Atacama Desert. Chile mines more minerals than any other South American country with the exception of petroleum. Gold, silver, lead, iron ore. Agriculture is also an important part of Chile's economy. Agriculture employs about 30% of the people living in Chile. Like many other South American countries, Chile has recently enforced land reforms where large ranches and farms were divided up among the farm workers. Well, this has been both good and bad for Chile. Farm workers who have always been very poor and never owned any land of their own now had a small plot of land. However, this small plot of land was really uneconomical. They raise about enough food to feed their families, and that's all. In 1535, the Spanish soldiers from Peru invaded Chile, and Spain ruled Chile for about 300 years. In 1818, Chile won independence from Spain. San Martin and Bernardo O'Higgins were leaders in Chile's struggle for independence. O'Higgins later became Chile's first president.
This is Fort Bulnes, located on the Strait of Magellan, and it's one of Chile's most interesting historical places to visit. You might want to read about it. That's Fort Bulnes, located on the Strait of Magellan in Chile.
Chile has had a very troubled past. The Communist Party, organized mainly by the Cuban Communists, has been very active in Chilean politics, and during 1973, the Chilean government was taken over by the military after President Allende's communist-backed government led the country into economic collapse. I think you'll have to agree that Chile is indeed not only a very beautiful but a very interesting country, and I hope you'll go on and learn more about Chile. And until our next lesson, adios, amigos.